Hello! Welcome to my new Hobbity sewing room. So for the first few years of my YouTube channel, things looked a little like this. I was sewing, creating, and editing in my bedroom. And just over a year ago now, my family moved houses, and the place we found had enough room that I could have my own proper Hobbity sewing room. Now, like with most of my videos, we start with a plan and end with a reveal. So before I give you the grand tour, let's go back in time to see how it all came together. Lydia from last year, take it away. Welcome to the sewing room, or what will become the sewing room. This is a great new space for lots of new adventures. However, it is not exactly my aesthetic at the moment. So I invite you to come along with me over the next however long it takes to turn this lovely, cool little space into a Dark Academia meets Hobbitcore meets geekery new sewing room. I needed to empty some moving boxes to give me room to move around, so I started by prepping the cupboards for my fabric stash. I found this really cute shelf liner on Amazon and then loaded my fabric onto the shelves. Should I have done this step before starting renovations? Maybe not, but I really needed the space. The main wall of the room had a texture that really wasn't giving Hobbity vibes, so the first step was a lot of scraping. I took off the biggest chunks with a paint scraper and then smoothed everything down with an orbital sander. And despite the kerchief, there were several days where I came out with some 18th century powdered hair. With the walls ready to go, it was time to paint. I looked at Dark Academia offices as my inspiration, and to make it easier to color grade my videos in editing, went with a neutral cream on top and a rich cherry wood effect on the bottom. To help the wood grain pop and look more realistic, I went in with a darker brown and dry brushed along the wainscoting sections. I found some very aesthetic light covers, and it was time to break out the sonic screwdriver. And I finally have more wall space so I can hang up more geeky artwork. The wall sconces were handy, but I wanted something more aesthetic, and while I can DIY my way around a fair bit of renovations, electrical is entirely out of my expertise. So I got an electrician friend to swing by and swap them out for sconces that were much more Hobbity. There's one closet in the room that I wasn't sure what to do with at first, but then the more I opened and closed the doors, the more I knew what to do. After the accent blue was dried, I borrowed a projector since I did not trust freehanding this design. A quick pencil trace, and then came several hours of very precise painting. Since I now have proper tote storage for my various crafty components, I bought some suitably Hobbity labels. We are close to things being ready, but there's still one little drawback. This particular part of the house was sort of open concept, meaning there was no door. And since this is a sewing channel and I mostly sew clothing, I need to be able to try things on, and I'd kind of like my privacy for that. And door framing, drywalling, etc., also outside of my wheelhouse. So we got a handyman in to frame the door and window, replace the acoustic ceiling tiles with drywall, and add in a few extra pot lights for even better lighting in the videos. For the little side window, I found this really cool leaded glass vinyl, which still lets light in, but gives privacy in the most aesthetic way. The door I found is gorgeous, but has glass panels, and so I obviously wanted a curtain. The one I found looks great, but it was a bit too long, so I hemmed it shorter and it's ready to go. The hinges on the cupboards are cool, but a little too bright, so I added a couple layers of thin dark brown paint to imitate a brushed bronze effect. Last but not least, I wanted some new handles on the cupboards to lend a more hobbity air. And while the decor of a room is always changing and growing with personal tastes and new acquisitions and can never fully be considered complete, I think at last we are ready for the grand tour. So coming immediately in from the door, we have the bookshelf. This is by no means the extent of my book collection, but these are some of my favorites and some resources that I want to keep nice and handy. So we have, for funsies, we have the Cursebreaker trilogy, the Inkworld trilogy, Throne of Glass, and the Harper Hall trilogy from Dragon Riders of Pern. Can you tell that I have a thing for trilogies? A little bit of Murdoch Mysteries right there. We have some Shakespeare, poetry, fairy tales, and classics, a little bit of adventure. Edith Head. That was a recent acquisition if you saw my Toronto Garment District shopping video. And then we have the resources. We have some replica catalogs, draping for fashion design, couture sewing techniques, authentic Victorian dressmaking techniques, and of course, Make, Sew, and Mend by Bernadette Banner. We have some cooking resources. I love a good Julia Child story, and some books on life in Tudor and medieval England. And moving up, we have the newest acquisition to the sewing team. Yes, I bought a serger. This is the Baby Lock Vibrant Serger. I just got her about a month ago. Shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring a couple videos ago. They made it possible for me to get this new lovely tool. This is my first serger. Never used one before. I have made a line. That's it. So if anybody that has a serger has any tips for a total serging newbie, please leave them in the comments below. I am so excited to get started, but yeah, it's new technology and therefore it is scary. Moving on, we come to the decorative part of the room. This is my little hobbity pub corner. We have my candelabra. Picked this up at a little garage sale. We have my box of treasures. This is pretty much exclusively trinkets from trading at Ren fairs. So we have little bottles and flower seeds and bracelets and all sorts of shiny things that I keep safely tucked away in my treasure chest. I made this lovely multicolored doily ages ago, and I thought it just went perfectly there. We have my lantern with miscellaneous candles. This is a medieval cutlery roll that I picked up also at a Ren fair, and my patterns of fashion too. We also coming down here have what I labeled during moving as the armory. So we have my bow and arrows, we have vintage decorative swords in various states of needing repair. I've never repaired a sword, but kind of want to try in all my spare time. And no armory is complete without a lightsaber. Not at all hobbity, but fantastic. This was my present to myself for hitting that milestone of 5,000 subscribers. So if you had subscribed before January 1st of this year, please know you played a part in me making this entirely impulsive but undeniably epic purchase. And rest assured, it will be making an appearance in an upcoming video. Jedi shenanigans are afoot. Okay, Lydia, time to put the lightsaber away. So, you've probably seen my 1916 Singer machine. She is beautiful, works so well. She got a little tune-up just after the move because she needed it. One of the downsides to moving and putting your house on the market is that you have absolute strangers wandering through your house at any given time, and they may touch things, and you have no idea if they're going to touch a couch or a antique sewing machine. And I know for a fact that somebody, I have no idea who, jostled her during one of the house showings, and it messed the tension up. So I took her in to a local machine repair store that specializes in antique machines, and now she is running fantastically. We also have my modern brother machine, the Steady Workhorse. I inherited her from my Oma. So she's probably a good 20 years old-ish. I have no idea when it was actually made, but she does a pretty fine good job. I bought this all from one artist at Comic-Con and turned it into the framed artwork. This is one thing I love, is having room to actually put my geeky artwork up on the walls. Woohoo! And I have a sewing table now with a drawer. So inside the drawer of mystery, we have things like eyelet spacers, we have grommet kits, bias binding kit, we have hooks and eyes. I got this at a local buy nothing craft swap. I think I might just have enough hooks to last me a lifetime, maybe. We have beeswax, various pin cushions, various measurers and seam rippers. This one I got from one of my favorite local Ren Fair vendors. This is amazing. If anybody wants to check them out, they are Lady of the Lathe. It is so gorgeous, and it comes on a necklace, so I can wear it and not lose it. We have IKEA tape measures. I got this tip from Bernadette Banner's early videos. They are very handy, so whenever I go to IKEA, I always pick up a bunch. I think they might be phasing them out for reusable tape measures, which I'm very sad about, but I have a bunch. We have various rulers at the back. We have my French curve and 2 acrylic clear rulers. Very handy for things like patchwork and bias tape. We have various miscellaneous cutting things. We have the shears of destiny. We have my sewing shears, miscellaneous little thread snips with my needle minder. So cute, so handy. A couple different rotary cutters. Cheap little makeup brush for cleaning out the dust and floofs from my sewing machines. I think I just got that at a dollar store, but very good idea, especially if you're working with something like velvet. Underneath the rulers, we have various corset making supplies, so things like zip ties, boning, busks, things like that. We have pins, quilting clips, my miscellaneous needles, more pins, because you can never have enough pins. This is my big spool of basting thread. I bought this for Shindig Kaylee and figuring, okay, that's probably going to be enough. It was way more than enough, and now I use it for basting pretty much all my projects together. We have lint rollers, again, very handy for like patchworks and velvety things. We have a couple little tripods, serger supplies, sleeve hem, and I think that's everything in there. This is probably the tidiest it will ever look, because when I am crafting, it turns into an absolute mess. And I thought I would show you my on-the-go crafting box. I started this when we were moving, when I was working on my Judy dress, because I needed to pack it up and take it with me. So I would fill it with appliques and thread and snips and all different things like that. So basically whatever my current sewing project is, all the miscellaneous little things go in there, and then I can just grab it and go. So, and like stickers. Okay, I love these. I love it. It is so true. I have definitely done that. Have super content creator by day, super tired by night. Accurate. Have in my defense, I was left unsupervised and the fabric store was open. Have I done that or what? And this one is like the most niche reference you're probably gonna see. This was a reference from Abby Cox's medieval shift video when Bernadette Banner made a cameo with her little Old English liches tu unutlich stergelich and medugal and westum, which is laying your lazy corpse self there like a mead drunk crop failure. I freaking love this. So of course it goes on my on-the-go sewing bin, and that just usually sits under the sewing table. And now we move on to the desk. This looks almost identical to how it looked when it was at the old house, except the sonic screwdrivers, that is not their permanent home. They were all in a very Doctor Who-y mug that did not survive the move. So if anybody has suggestions on how to store said 4 sonic screwdrivers, I would love to hear what you guys suggest. And this is also the wall of musical theater. So we have a couple of my latest playbills, favorite playbills from New York. I got this lovely little artwork in a craft swap, crafting gift exchange. So cute. All my favorite little musicals. How many references can you spot? And yes, by the way, I do have Wash's Dinosaurs. And then Alphaba. I actually made this like 10 years ago at least, and I love how it turned out. So that's just my desk of geekery. And yes, I do have a roll top desk. I tidied it up just for you guys. I have my Taverner's Fruit Drops for motivation, because everybody needs a sweet treat. And this is my copious ink collection. I also do a lot of like calligraphy, junk journaly type things, so I am a sucker for shiny, cute inks. My ink stash is, I was going to say it's almost as big as my fabric stash. Not quite, but yeah, it is quite prolific. And moving on from the desk, we have, oh, hello, my full-length mirror. It's always very important to have a full-length mirror if you're doing sewing, so that you can, you know, oh, what's going on? What is the back of the skirt doing? Very crucial thing, and I love my mirror. It's so pretty. And you saw it in the process, and now for the reveal. Yes, it is the Doors of Moria. The handle blends in, very nice and secret. So we can do this. What's the Elvish word for friend? Melon. This is not a very exciting closet. It's mostly just things like sleeve board, iron, old patterns, things like that. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm gonna go, oh, Murdoch Mysteries, hello. But it's so pretty. I love how this turned out. I'm very proud of myself. Moving on. Hashtag relatable. This is my other little section of geekery here. Yes, I collect Funko Pops, don't at me. We have my little Serenity painting. Yes, I made that too. It was so pretty. And we have my actual Serenity, my little Funko Pops. I think they are stinking cute. My ticket to Wizomania from the Broadway Flea Market, and the Tony Award ticket also from the Broadway Flea Market. And come on, every geek needs a triple. And now, are you ready for the stash? We are diving into the cupboards. We have fabric, we have leather, we have jewels and beads and sundry miscellany. So, let's go. The very top cupboard is kind of messy-ish. We have leather and leather making supplies for future projects. We have a faux suede that's going to become a steampunk jacket. This is my cabbage and coleslaw, just kind of shoved in there because I don't have another spot for it, as well as a dress that I'm going to take apart and make into something better. And one thing I did is I made little inventories of my fabrics by section. So we have velvets and wools over here. We have a section for the silk and silk-esque fabrics. We have cottons and linens over there, so then we can just cross things off when it's all done. We have the velvets, we have the wools, so many beautiful wools that I can't wait to use, that I procrastinate on using because they're just so pretty and I get scared to cut into them. We have mostly cotton here, a couple cotton linen blends, and then we have mostly linens and viscose over here. Coming down, we have the silks and silk-esque fabrics and some miscellany that defies categorization. Some funky fabrics that I am very excited about. This is going to be an 18th century gown at some point. It's just got like the perfect pattern. I love it. And then down below we have the everything else. The shiny fabric. Satin, organza, and miscellaneous shiny fabrics. So yes, we have a little bit of Luthien, we have some bejeweled cloak left over, various things, couple thrifted saris, lots of cool satins, lots of organzas. I still have a whole whack of Judy left over. And this one is going to be some kind of oceany project. No idea exactly what yet. And this is curtains. Very pretty curtains, and I think I'm going to do an Austenland inspired dress with this. At the very bottom we have embroidery and miscellaneous. That's kind of everything that doesn't have its own category gets put into this box. We have trims from New York, trims from Toronto, crochet and knitting supplies. We have ribbons, beautiful shiny ribbons, and we have lace and beaded trim. And then the supplies for my Edwardian lingerie dress. This is all just lace right there. Moving on, we have junk journaling supplies there. We have whittling, carving supplies in there because I was late night Instagram scrolling and saw a bunch of whittling videos and decided I too could whittle. I don't whittle very well, but it's there. We also have embroidery floss, silk threads, and miscellaneous sewing threads all tucked away handy into here. Moving down, we have notebooks. I have more notebooks than I know what to do with, but they're all so pretty and awesome. This was a housewarming gift from one of my friends who made this herself. And it's so pretty. Completely hand bound. And that's awesome. I just wanted to share that with you guys. We have candles in case of power outages. We have a mic, funky mic, really good mic. It's new technology and therefore also Brain says is scary. And okay, I'm going to show you this. We're doing a tour, so I'm going to show you what I want to show you guys. This is a cute little thing. I saw this first at the Stratford Festival gift shop, that they made these little baubles from the costumes from the shows that were running that season. And so when I started sewing, I said, well, I'm going to do that. And so each year is a different bauble with little scraps and jewels from costumes and outfits I've made that year. So this one was Luthien, a little bit of Aragorn, a little bit of walking skirt in there. This particular year we've got some Judy, we have some corset lace, we have some history bound in Kirtle. I think there's some bejeweled fabric in there too. That was a sari that I turned into a skirt. That was my flannel petticoat. But yeah, it's a great way to kind of memorialize the crafts you make in a year, the garments you make in a year. It's just so cute. I have no idea where I'm going to put them, but I have them, and they're awesome. And moving down, we have what is left over from my patchwork housecoat. There's a whole bunch of pieces that were either cut off or squares that I made extra of. They're all in there. And behind there, in the back, is my leftover Murdoch Mystery scraps. We have extra fabric that didn't quite fit in the stash cupboard, extra batting, ribbons for an upcoming project. I have a lot of #upcoming projects, but this, and this are all going to be in the same project. Put it in the comments what you think it's going to be. And also, take a look at this. This is so cute. So pretty. I'm going to be doing Christine Daae's Hannibal corset and dressing gown, and this is going to be the base for the corset detailing. I got this on Etsy. It is so stunningly beautiful. I love it. Not related to those projects. And coming down to the last cupboard, we have Miscellaneous, Butterick, Simplicity, and McCall's patterns. All the patterns, mostly unused patterns, a few used ones at the very back. We also have beads and buttons. This is surprisingly heavy, but sundry beads and buttons and shiny things. And then we have jewelry making and sequins and shinies, because I keep a lot of my sequins in there as well. We have mock-up fabrics for upcoming projects there. We have miscellaneous. This is really things that don't belong anywhere else except miscellaneous. We have finished Lil projects. These are things like my bustle pad, like my various 18th century pockets, my run fair bags, things like that. We have paper for printing off PDF patterns, feathers, and painting supplies. And therein lies my stash. As you can see, I have more hobbies than just sewing, but mostly sewing. And yeah, I have a very, very diverse range of interests, and some of which get used a lot more than others. And some of them have been sitting up there for a while going, try me, try me. And I'm going, I'd rather sew. Looking at you, whittling spoons. And then we have my Princess Bride door. I picked both of these up at a Comic-Con. This is a absolutely awesome map. And now I'm just missing a Buttercup picture, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that at upcoming conventions, because I want to complete my wall. We also have a awesome, very aesthetic looking pegboard not pegboard, bulletin board for receipts and patterns and miscellaneous paperwork. We are nearing the end of the tour, but I did want to show off my Conqueror medals. This is not sponsored by the Conqueror Company, but I love these virtual challenges. I've been doing them since 2019, and I think it is awesome. My geeky heart loves these Lord of the Rings medals. They're awesome. And we are back to the front door at the end of the tour, and okay, there's one more thing I want to show you. That is my sword. I do have a mount for it. I do want to mount it on the wall at some point, but you know, honestly, it looks really cool right there too. So it's staying there for the time being, but I do have plans to put it up on a wall at some point. I made the mistake of not actually looking at the dimensions of it when I bought it. I knew, being Hobbit size, that Anduril was way out of the question. It was going to be just way too big, and I wanted a sword for adventuring. Did not fully process how long the sword was when I bought it. Yeah. In case there were any doubts, I am short. This is what Aragorn's ranger sword looks like next to a 5'0" hobbit. But it's still rather cool, and anybody that I have over always goes absolutely gaga over the sword. And it's like, ooh, can I hold the sword? And I'm like, yeah, of course you can hold the sword. Because everybody feels awesome when you hold a sword. It's just instant empowerment level up. So yes, sword. And there we are. I really hope you enjoyed this little tour of my Hobbitcore meets Dark Academia sewing room. I had so much fun putting it together and transforming the room into this lovely little studio that I have now. And now it is time to get back to sewing. If you liked this video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, more videos in said sewing room, please feel free to subscribe. I've got some awesome adventures coming up that I am very excited about, and I will see you soon with more geekery meets history sewing adventures. And growing with personal tastes. It will be making another appearance in an upcoming video. Baby lock oh. Pardon me. Whew. That's just so cool. I have a lightsaber.